Hey everybody, welcome back to the Goat Force Gaming channel where we play the roguelikes and the roguelites and hopefully add all kinds of awesome, great games to your backlog. That's what we do. That's what we try to do. I think we do a pretty damn good job of it. I am back here with a game called SERAPH'S Last Stand, and this is this is wizardry meets Space Invaders meets roguelite action. How about that? How does that sound? Sounds pretty good, right? I've played this game a couple times, maybe 3 times on the channel, and you know what? This game is just good, clean fun. I mean, it's not too complicated, not too much to think about, it's just a good, fun game. So here's what we're gonna do. I've been playing for a minute, I've opened up some permanent upgrades here, and I now have a hat that allows me to re-roll as many times as I want, which is quite good. I just recently opened this one up, and once I did, I'm thinking, my goodness, this should have been the first hat that I got, because they're all the hats are available right away, but they don't tell you what they're going to do until you buy them. So anyway, what we're going to try to do here is we're going to go with what I'm going to call the Thunderstorm run. Okay, I want thunderbolts raining down from the sky. Now, the other thing we have going on is we've got the rainbow wand, and what that does is it generates different kinds of shots. Boy, you know what? We're gonna go wisp here. Different kind of shots from all the different wands that you can get. So the green ones do homing, the yellow ones are three-way, the little icicle ones actually fly right through enemies and can kill the ones that are behind. So between the thunderstorm action and the different types of shots that we have, we're going to try to have a good run. I think we can do it. Now, we might have to re-roll a number of times here, and depending on how well the goat is paying attention, of course, sometimes what I want pops, and then I just click that damn re-roll button on accident, because accidents happen. Boy, the lightning just doesn't want to pop up. This is where I have to be careful. I've gotten myself into trouble where it pops and I'm like, oh, there it is. All right, Thunderbolt. Good deal. So anyway, we'll see if we can have a decent run here. Now, the fedora that gives me the unlimited reroll option also takes away your capability to be on the high score list. That tells me that the dev has decided the fedora is a little bit OP, which for me means that's the way to go, because I like a good overpowered option in a game that quite frankly over time becomes pretty difficult. Okay. But that's okay, because hopefully we're going to have so many different kinds of projectiles going on the screen that it's just going to be impossible to lose. We're going to build some lifesteal into what we're putting together here as well. I think that'll be good. I'll help it all come together for us. And then we'll think about damage as well, but before we think about damage, I'm really wanting to think about the lightning. I'm going to get another wisp here. So every 10 rounds, you get a couple epic options. Those are the purples. And some of those aren't going to pop. You know, I think we are going to go attack speed. Let's not forget about that, because of course attack speed is going to help our wisps as well that we've got out there. And yeah, hopefully everything will just come together in a really nice balance. Of course, that's the dream, right? But first of all, we've got to get our lightning storm going, and once we can get the evolution of the lightning, those bolts are going to do a lot more damage. They're going to be a lot more frequent. You'll see. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Hey, if you're new here, thanks for being here with us. If you like the roguelikes and the roguelites, this is a happening place to be. And I would love it if you decided to hang out with us more regularly. Would love to earn the right to your subscription. Just know that, you know, a couple weeks ago, I was even talking to my large group of attorneys again, and just made sure that the language is very clear in there. If you do decide to subscribe, we're going to add all kinds of games to your backlog. It's going to cost you money, because you're going to want to play a lot of these games that you see here. I don't do reviews on the channel. I know I've said this before. Let's see, what do we want to go with here? Let's go with some fragmentation. That'll come together nicely. Don't do reviews. You know, I more so just play games that I like. So if you see them on the channel, just consider them a mini recommendation. So there you go. That's my spiel. And if you're already in the community, hey, thanks. Good to have you. I am joined by my esteemed colleague today, Cup of Coffee. As I normally am, I've got a really nice single origin today that I'm drinking. This is a cup coming out of Hansa Coffee Roasters again. You know, they just kind of draw me in. Rod, I haven't forgotten about Blue Bottle. Just haven't made a selection yet. Let's go with another Bolt. There we go. But this has notes of peach and plum and caramel and dried cherry, and it's quite nice. The flavors show up pretty well here. Pretty well. So I'm liking that. In fact, this is a good opportunity. I would argue that this game has a lot of great opportunities to take a sip. Cheers to you. You know, I think that the rounds go by pretty quickly, you know, especially if you've got a few of the upgrades on the meta progression side. You can get in here and start kicking some ass right away. So yeah, really good coffee, really good games. I can't complain too much. I think we're gonna go Wisp this time. Get a third Wisp out there, get even more bullets, and as you can see, you know, this is quickly becoming the 4th of July in a good way, in a very deadly way to our enemies, of course. Let's go Thunderbolt. Okay, so there we go. God of Thunder. We've got the Thunderbolt evolution, and now, look at the power, right? So these guys are getting killed before they even come down, and then they're dropping all kinds of bullets down as well. So it's wonderful. So what we want to do now is think about our projectile damage. And then I think we also want to think about health regen, because that's going to be important here as well. So I know I just talked about regen and I got fragmentation. Sometimes I just get carried away with hey, let's put more bullshit on the screen, right? Because it looks cool. It's a good reason, isn't it? I think it is. I think it is. I mean, even this is starting to pull me in a little bit. We make the projectiles bigger. Your chance of hitting is that much better, right? So we're just gonna go off plan now that we got these lightning bolts firing away for us. Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. Here's some lifesteal. The only thing is, I'd rather get something that you can't find when you play normally, which would be the Wisp. I don't want another one of those yet. Wound might be good, but there's also one that freezes the guys when they take damage, and I'm kind of leaning towards that. So let's see if we can grab a freeze. It'll show up eventually. There it is. Enemies get 1% slower every time they take damage, up to 80%. Let's do it. What could go wrong? Probably a lot, but that's okay. That's all right. Because it seems that we're doing okay overall. All right, I kind of want to focus on projectile damage and regen for the next few. So let's look for some regen. Here we go, lifesteal. Invulnerability might be interesting as well, but I kind of want to think about damage because of these guys that are showing up below. They take more shots. So let's keep that in mind. We'll go projectile damage this time. Now I think that also impacts the projectiles that are flying off the guys as they die, which is a nice added benefit there. Here's some regen as well, based on the number of alive enemies, so we'll go with that. If this is your first time seeing the game, again, this is Seraph's Last Stand. It's a wonderful game. All right, we're gonna let's figure out what we want here first. I could see a case for the bleed. Let's do that, because of course that helps with the freezing. They do count that as damage taken, and with all the particles blowing off these guys, that causes bleed as well. So I think that's a good way to go. See, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. Oh yes. So if this is your first time seeing the game, the little blue pickups laying on the ground, that's what you use for the meta progression in the game. So you want to grab those along the way. So when you do die, and you will, you can make yourself a little bit more powerful for your next run. That's why we like the roguelites, right? We will go lifesteal again. The nice thing is that most of these can be evolved, and to the point where they're going to do something interesting for you. There's only one of them that, and it's the projectile damage. When you get it to the point of an evolution, it actually pops up and it's like, hey, you evolved it. What does it do? Nothing at all. It's like it's a really nice FU, but kind of funny at the same time. Let's go. Boy, I'm leaning towards bleeding, but then I'm also thinking about might be interesting to slow them down even more if we amp this up. Let's amp this up. Okay. The life seems to be recharging pretty well. You can definitely see them slowing down when they do. Let's go with attack speed. At some point, attack speed is just another form of enhancing damage overall, I'd argue, because the number of times you're able to hit them window of time. All right. You know, I'm thinking damage would be good. Let's do that. Now the wisps, in case you're curious, the wisps do half the amount of damage that the wizard does. Same with speed. They're half the speed as well. So you kind of want to factor that in if you're wisp heavy. Even though you might be happy with your own damage output, you might want to think about putting in more just for their benefit. But we're looking good now from a speed standpoint, I think. Now it's about damage, durability, and some of the other added effects that you can do here, I think. Let's go bleed again. And of course, that's just going to do more bleed damage as you ramp up that ability. All right. So we went out to see some friends the other night who are in town. They're doing the nomad thing. This is my old college roommate, and he was working the standard 8 to 5 that a lot of us work, and caught a break and said, "Hey, let's get rid of the house and let's go get a dually, which is a massive truck that can pull a camper." And they're doing that thing now. They're doing the nomad thing, and they happen to be in our area, and it was really great seeing those guys. We had a wonderful time. We ended up going to this sports bar that has a sandwich that I really like, where they just roll out some dough. They load that dough up with roast beef and mozzarella cheese and jalapeno, and then they close it up like it's, almost like it's a massive, empanada, right? And then they deep fry that SOB. And, oh my goodness, that's living, man. That's what I'd say about that. That's living. Let's go with cold. Okay, so Freezer can now slow enemies up to 100%. When this happens, every damage from any source has 1% chance to insta-kill the enemy. All right, so basically we've created ice cubes, and you hit an ice cube with a bullet, you got a chance to just blow them right to hell. So that's nice. That's great. And they do seem like they are slowing down, I gotta say. Cool. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. So good food, good company. Always great to run into people. We hadn't seen them in 4 years. Time just gets the hell away from you. But it's always nice to see folks that you haven't seen in a long time, and you find out they're winning. They're out there winning. They're having a good time. This world that we live in is just so effing nutty. And when you hear that your friends are doing great, that you haven't seen in a long time, it's good. It charges your battery up. It makes you feel good. So it's great seeing them. And not gonna lie, the food was an equally great experience. And here, this was the added win. I'm not gonna leave this out. Not gonna leave this out for any of you, because I know this is what some of you come here for. I knew that I was gonna get this sandwich the day before, and so of course, I mean, I'm out there thinking about it, and I said to myself, you know what would even make this even better is some horseradish. Right now, I don't know if you're down with the horseradish, but I am, especially if we're talking about beef. Horseradish is just it's one of my favorite things. And so I said, hey, you got any of that bitter root? In the server, I don't know. She looked at me like I just stepped off a spaceship or something. And by the way, I didn't call it the bitter root. I did call it by its horseradish name. Oh man, game over. That's okay. We're gonna retry. We're gonna reset. We're gonna retry. And so she figured out what I was talking about. We're gonna go Fedora, and we're gonna go. What do we want to go here? Do we want to go Frozen Tip? Let's go Frozen Tip. Now I don't think I can afford any of these because they get quite expensive. Oh, we could get some more life, but I would kind of like to hold out for. So we'll do that. We're gonna hold out a little bit. So she went in the back and she came out with some horseradish, and it was beautiful. It really was. Okay, so we're gonna do the typical. Let's get something that we can't get outside of the epic choices. I think bleed is good because you can extend it to the back row. This ice shot is the one that will go through some enemies for you. Okay. So yeah, deep fried dough sandwich with horseradish ends up being an epic food win. Really does. I don't know what we could have done better in that last run. Maybe I gave a little bit too much emphasis towards the non-durability. Like shrink is actually good too. I don't want to get it early on. I still want to create the thunderstorm to start, and then from there maybe we'll go with a shrink build because the evolution is quite nice on it. All right, I think we're gonna go Wisp this time. Get even more bullets in the sky. It's really nice when a random bolt catches a guy out of nowhere. And I really don't expect them to too much of the time. There's not that many of them, but when it happens, it's great. All right. Let's go. Let's keep going bolt. I think for now. We'll get that set up out there. Well, you know what? That's popping up pretty often. It's like a sign. Now, what you lose by taking this cold shot is about half of your damage. So your +4s aren't actually +4s. They're like +1s or +2s, depending on how the math works out. But between the bleed and everything else, you can get there. I like it when the Thunderbolt pops up right away. Okay, let's see. I've done this one in the past. I think it's just okay. I thought, well, maybe for those guys that show up down low, be great for them. We're gonna go bleed again. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. I do like this too. So let's get some other projectiles going. I mean, those certainly help with getting guys to bleed faster. You know, it spreads it up top where I might not get to right away. Actually, it's easier to do that with the spell that we're shooting. So of course, the projectiles go right through, but still. At least your bullets are traveling through for the jerks that show up down below. I do think at this point that the fedora is my favorite hat because of what it does. Okay, we're gonna go thunderbolts again here. Yeah, see, that's really nice to be able to hit guys in the back row. We'll go Wisp. Help spread that bleed damage that much more. Okay. We'll go Bolt. And we need 3 more bolts to evolve it. You need to get them to 10, I think, for most of them. Let's see. We'll go speed. And there's no rhyme or reason to, you know, what I'm doing. I just kind of get an idea for what I want to do, and I try to, like, hold myself to that. But of course, this unlimited reroll, you know, it's like kid in a candy store, like, oh, well, that looks good. I'd like to be shooting faster this time, even though I should be looking for the bolts. Okay. We're going to add some lifesteal. And then at some point, we'll start looking for shrink. Do I want a 3rd wisp? I think I do, but I also want wound. So yeah, we're gonna do some wound, and then next time we'll probably grab a 3rd wisp. All right, so we're doing 9s for the bleed damage. Let's see, we need 2 more thunderbolts. We can pull that off if we can find it. Take a quick sip here. I'm running low on that black gold. Okay. Come on. Where are you? We know you're in here somewhere. Can't hide forever. Maybe the game's like, oh, he really needs that. Let's hold off. He's performing too well at this point. Come on. There it is. Glad I didn't skip that. That would have been a travesty. Okay. All right. This is it. Let's give us the thunderbolt. There it is. Okay. All right. Now it's officially a thunderstorm party that we got going on. Okay. Let's keep rocking and rolling here, and hopefully this is giving you ideas for for your builds that you want to put together. Let's start working on this a little bit. I say we'll go fragmentation and shrink when when whatever shows up first. Let's play it that way. Fragmentation or shrink. There we go. Because by the way, and I noted this earlier, those fragments can also start the bleed damage process. Okay, we've already got 3 wisps, so I don't want any more wisps, but I wouldn't mind some additional wound. Just get that bleed amount up. Okay. We're looking for shrink or fragmentation. Wonderful. There we go. Yeah, these guys seem to be going down good. Go fragmentation again. Wait, shrink isn't showing up all that much, is it? There we go. Speak of the devil. Because of course it shows up that time. Okay. I don't want another wisp, because if I get another one, they're all going to form by my wand, and they're going to fire wherever I'm firing, and I actually like that they are firing independently right now, and I want to keep it that way. I'm actually thinking that I want to go bleed again and just add to the bleed damage that we have going on. That's what I want to do. I normally don't do that, but I think with the fact that we can give bleed to, you know, just about everybody pretty quickly, I think it's worth doing. So, let's go shrink or fragmentation. There we go. All right, wonderful. Let's stick with the shrink or fragmentation approach. There we go. You know, after 2 or 3 shrinks, you're like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. Fragmentation, all right. Yeah, this is going quite well, I would argue. We got to get a little bit more regen going, I think. Boy, I think I'm gonna go bleed again. Actually, let's do that. It's trust the process, right? Isn't that what they say? Okay. We need 1 more in fragmentation. Perfect. So those things aren't going to just die off over time. They're, you know, basically creating even more durable projectiles now. Okay, so now it's going to be shrink or HP growth. So whatever pops up more often, that's what we're doing. Because I like the way things are going here so far. Wow. It seems like we're really just ending up with the guys that sit below. I know it was HP growth. I'm gonna go shrink this time. Alright. Probably do have to think about projectile damage as well. But I'm actually going to go bleed again, believe it or not. Bleed it or not? Okay, alright. See what I did there? See, that's why you show up to this channel, for those hot puns. All right. We'll go shrink. Oh, enemy projectiles have 33% chance to miss. The old gnome. All right. You love to see it. This tiny little super guy. Remember that little show, the tiny little super guy? From, what was that, an offshoot of Sesame Street, I think? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to think about damage, we're going to think about speed, and we're going to think about overall durability. I think I want to go durability first. So, you know, things like the cloak wouldn't be bad. Not be bad at all. But I think, you know, projectile damage in general, there we go, also has to be considered. Okay. We're gonna go speed. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on the screen. What do we want to do here? I think we want to bleed again. I'm going a little bit bleed crazy lately. All right, let's do some regen. Oh, I even saw the red one coming and was like, hey, don't do that. But it was too late, I did it. You probably know that by now. Hey, this is a great game. Seraph's Last Stand. And this is not going to cost you a ton of money either. The dev claimed that, you know, hey, you'll have about 10 hours of fun with this. You know what? False. That's not going to be everybody's experience with this one. I've had many, many more hours than 10 of fun. So anyway, in fact, I've read that people want to give this dev even more money, and so he created an opportunity to, here, I'll show this off, to buy the original soundtrack to the game, which I quite like. So anyway, if you liked what you saw here, why don't you give Andre some support and throw him a few bucks. That's about what this game goes for out on Steam. And, you know, we can all be wizards and play what's basically Space Invaders together. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time out on the Goat Force Gaming channel, where we will, I don't know, probably play a roguelike or a roguelite. You can set your watch and your warrant to that. All right, we'll see you next time. Take care.